Okay, so you know what's funny? My mind is kind of blown right now. Because in preparation for doing this video, I went out there and I looked, okay, NHL Draft Lottery. When is the Draft Lottery? What's the time schedule looking like for that event? Turns out it's in 4 days. Did anybody else realize that the Draft Lottery was coming up so quickly? May 10th, 2022 is when the 2022 Draft Lottery will be held, and we're going to stream for that. I know I said in the previous video, tapping out, that I'm really not in a position to stream as much as I could, but because the Draft Lottery is not a game and because that stream is not going to take 3-4 hours long, it's a lot easier for me to go out there and just do that stream. And, you know, I love the draft, I love the prospects, so it's a lot easier of a process for me. But with this entire Red Wings thing going on, I wanted to open up a discussion about the Detroit Red Wings and what they could do for the 2022 NHL Entry Draft. We've talked about the Montreal Canadiens a little bit. We've talked about a few other teams that are in the running for the top guys: Shane Wright, Yurov, Logan, Cooley, Savoie, etc. But the Red Wings are an interesting team because they're not one of those. They're not one of these teams that is going to be a top 2, 3, or 4 pick. I mean, sure, they have X% amount of odds at getting that, but it's unlikely. Let's go over onto the Tankathon website and see just where the Red Wings are in the draft standings. They're currently 8th overall. With 74 points in the 82-game season, the Red Wings are just behind the Ottawa Senators, the Blue Jackets via the Blackhawks, the Devils, the Flyers, the Kraken, the Coyotes, and the Canadiens. You take a look at the odds for the first overall pick, you have yourselves Detroit at 6%, and then everybody else follows up afterwards. There was the entire thing that people were talking about, oh, because there's a new rule that NHL teams can only move up 10 spots, the drafting process and the likelihood of getting first overall for the top teams, it's actually kind of shifted because you could not win the draft lottery and still get first overall, depending on if the team that does win first overall is in that 16, 15, 14, or 13 spot. It's kind of weird this year, but either way, that is the case. I also wanted to showcase this graphic on Hockeytown Central's Instagram page, showing off the Red Wings and their odds for the draft. Right now, the Red Wings have a 6% chance at drafting first overall and winning the lottery. They have a 6.4% chance at drafting second overall and winning that lottery. They have a 54.4% chance at sticking around at 8, a 30% chance of dropping to 9th. That would happen if a team below Detroit, or better than Detroit in the regular season, wins a lottery, and then they have a 3.2% chance at drafting 10th, which means there would be only 2 teams underneath Detroit winning the first and second overall lotteries, pushing everybody else down 2 spots. So, for all intents and purposes, the Red Wings have a 50% chance at 8, about a 12% chance at winning a lottery and going 1 or 2, and then a 30% chance of dropping 1 spot, 32% chance of dropping 2. I will say, though, if the odds actually play out in the Red Wings' favor and they do draft top 2, because, okay, there you go, there's a first or a second overall drawing, that's that 12% chance coming out here. If there is that opportunity that does arise, then hey, we've made scouting report videos for all the top guys, talking about Shane Wright, Slavkovsky, Cooley, Savoie, Brad Lambert, everybody else who is over there too. There are a few other names that I think we can fill in the blanks as the weeks go on. David Jiricek is still one we need to talk about, but there are indeed already reports made for some of the guys. You can go out there and check the Why I Want series that we have on the channel. But I also wanted to turn your attention to this article on DetroitHockeyNow.com published by Kevin Allen. The Red Wings could look at US NTDP players at number 8 or number 9. What I wanted to do was take a look at Allen's picks and see who exactly these players are, how they could fit with the Red Wings, and ask the question to you as to whether or not you feel like these would be valuable pickups. Now, the Red Wings are indeed in Detroit, so MTDP guys, they're right in their backyard. You have University of Michigan guys to be that are right there in their backyard, so there's a whole bunch of potential here for the Red Wings to do some scouting opportunities in their backyard. But this article on Detroit Hockey Now was published because of NHL Central Scouting's final draft rankings list. Kevin Allen, the writer, notes that at the start of the piece. The NHL Central Scouting's final draft rankings has 2 US NTDP players listed in the general vicinity of where the Red Wings are likely to be picking. The Red Wings are currently slotted 8th, and they could fall to 10th if 2 teams jump over them through the lottery, but the odds of Detroit picking 8th or 9th are 84.4%. US NTDP winger Isaac Howard is ranked 9th amongst North American skaters, and right wing Jimmy Snuggerud, son of former NHLer Dave Snuggerud, is ranked 11th. I do like, though, that he does say that it is misleading because Central Scouting does a separate list for European players, and 5 or 6 of that list could go in the top 10 of the draft on July 7th and 8th in Montreal. And so just starting out with those 2 names, Isaac Howard and Jimmy Snuggerud are both pretty interesting prospects. Howard is the one that intrigues me the most because, as we talked about in the Isaac Howard Scouting Report Why I Want video, there are some scouting outlets that really are a lot lower on this guy, as some say that he should be a second-round talent. Isaac Howard, though, is one of the better players in the offensive zone in this draft. He can just do it all. He's got a lot of talent, a lot of pace, good shot, good skills, good mobility. It's just, when he's not in the offensive zone, you could say that he doesn't really play the best that he could be. He's a no-nonsense offensive guy, but what you really want out of Isaac Howard developing going forward is for him to be a no-nonsense player all around. He's got a lot of talent, he's just got to learn how to diversify that going forward into the rest of his game. Because when it comes to that playmaking, the shooting ability, it's really served him well in the NTDP so far, and heading over to the Minnesota Duluth Bulldogs, it's going to be a pretty interesting step to see where he goes with his development over there. You then have Jimmy Snuggerud, who was also who was also ranked in this same range too. He had 63 points in 59 games played this season for the NTDP. He's going over to the Golden Gopher system, and he's definitely not a bad bet either. He's a guy that I honestly have not paid too much attention to. I've admittedly been focusing most of my work on Howard and Nazar of the NTDP this season, and Logan Cooley, of course. But Snuggerud was always in there too. His fantasy summary on Dobber Prospects reads, a powerful offensive weapon with good size and an array of deadly shots in his repertoire. He has the potential to develop into an effective goal scorer at the NHL level. Now for the Red Wings, I don't know about you, but I don't think that sounds like a bad idea, adding more goal scorers to the team. There also is mention over here on the Detroit Hockey Now article of Cutter Gauthier, who was one of the top-ranked Central Scouting North Americans as well. And then it's also difficult to not connect Detroit to dynamic Swedish player Jonathan Lekkerimäki, a small-ish winger who played a major role in helping Sweden win the World Under-18 gold medal. He has moved from 9th to 6th on NHL Central Scouting's European list, and he's going to be drafted right around where the Red Wings will be picking. Lekkerimäki is a very interesting player because he's one of these guys that doesn't really have too much going for him outside of his shooting ability. He's got a great shot, and I mean, you take a look at the production that he has had in other levels of play, and you see this guy is a goal scorer, and he has been a goal scorer all throughout. He's one of these guys whose U18 tournament has really helped him out, but I mean, 20 goals in 26 games at the J20 level for Djurgården is great. 7 goals in 26 SHL games as an underage player. And then, of course, the U18 performance, he had 15 points in 6 games. So Lekkerimäki really went out there and showcased that, yeah, I'm still a pretty big deal for this draft, and you should not count me out. He led the tournament by far in scoring, and it wasn't even close. So, you go over to the other prospects that could be available in the Red Wings drafting range that are mentioned in this piece. Marco Kasper is an Austrian playing in Sweden. You have a few other guys, too, that are mentioned here, like the top guys, Juraj Slafkovsky, a few others. But either way, let me know in the comments all your thoughts about the Red Wings and who you think they should draft in the 2022 NHL Entry Draft. Their draft odds go as follows: 6% first overall, 6.4% second overall, 54.4% chance at 8th, 30% chance at 9th, and a 3.2% chance at 10th. So they have an 80-something% chance at sticking around in the 8-9 range. Who do you think they should take in this range? Do you like NHL Central Scouting's list for the prospects? We're going to be making more videos talking about all these guys as the draft comes along, because the draft, it's in July. We have a lot of time to really, oh boy, I hate using this verb, but lubricate the situation when it comes to illuminating what it is that we talk about with the prospects and our awareness of what these guys are and what they could be going forward. It's a fun time to be a draft fan this time of the year. So let me know in the comments all your thoughts about the Red Wings, their prospects, who they should draft, who you think they would draft, and what Stevie Y might have in his arsenal. Because when it comes to Steve Yzerman, I mean, I don't think he's missed on any of these draft picks, knock on wood, just yet. Because, I mean, you look at Sider in 2019, you look at Raymond in 2020, you look at Kosa and Edvinsson in 2021. They've been pretty good picks. So let me know in the comments all your thoughts. Who is next? Who do you think the Red Wings will take? I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.